In the heart of Umuma village, where the air was heavy with the scent of earth and memories, a little girl made a promise that would follow her for the rest of her life. Her name was Adaeze, daughter of Nena, the healer who once saved lives but later became the woman everyone feared. That night, the sky cried red rain. Lightning tore through the heavens like a wounded serpent. And in the middle of the storm, Nena pressed a pair of red leather shoes into her daughter's small hands. "Promise me, my child," her trembling voice said, "you will not wear these shoes until the truth walks again in Umuma." Adaeze nodded through tears. Her tiny fingers clutched the shoes as thunder rolled. When dawn came, Nena was gone, taken by the elders, swallowed by false accusation. Adaeze buried the red shoes beneath the mango tree behind their hut. The earth closed over them like a secret sealed in grief. Years passed. The sun rose and fell over Umuma, but Adaeze never wore shoes again. The villagers called her the Barefoot girl. They whispered that her feet had been cursed, that spirits walked with her. Children laughed, throwing sand at her feet. Women crossed themselves when she passed. But Adaeze never answered. She only walked, slow, calm, barefoot, her face always lifted toward the sky as if listening to something no one else could hear. No matter how rough the road became, she endured it all. Because she remembered her mother's words. The truth walks slowly, but it never gets lost. Every evening, Adaeze went to the riverbank. She would sit on a flat stone and talk softly to the water. The villagers said she was mad, talking to spirits. But Adaeze knew better. She believed her mother's soul lived in the river's song. Sometimes, when the breeze blew gently, she could almost hear Nena's voice. "My child, I am not gone. The truth sleeps beneath the same tree that holds my name." She never understood what that meant, not yet. But she kept coming, kept listening. The river was her only friend. In the market square, laughter often followed her like a shadow. One afternoon, as she tried to sell groundnuts, a group of women began to mock her. "Adaeze, are your feet too holy for slippers?" one shouted. "Maybe the ground is her husband," another sneered. But Adaeze smiled softly, bowed her head, and said nothing. Her silence was her armor. Her patience, her prayer. The old women selling herbs watched her and murmured to each other. "That girl carries something heavy. A child cannot be that calm unless pain has taught her wisdom." They were right. Adaeze's calm was born of sorrow too deep for words. One day, a young man arrived in Umuma. His name was Chike, a historian who traveled across villages collecting stories of forgotten people. When he saw Adaeze by the river, he stopped. There was something strange about the way she sat, motionless, serene, her reflection touching the water like a prayer. He asked a woman nearby, "Who is that girl?" The woman spat on the ground. "That one. A cursed child. Her mother was a witch." But Chike didn't believe in curses. That night, he went to the river again. Adaeze was still there. "Why don't you wear shoes?" he asked. She turned to him slowly, her eyes calm but full of sorrow. "Because the ground remembers my mother better than I do." Her answer struck him silent. From that day, he followed her story. Chike visited the old shrine archives kept by the elders. He searched for Nena's case. There he found a brittle scroll sealed with palm oil and blood. It told of an ancient covenant, one that demanded that every third generation must offer a mother's tears to the ancestral gods to cleanse the sins of their lineage. But Nena refused. She had said, "No spirit shall drink my sorrow while my daughter still breathes." For that defiance, they called her a witch. Chike trembled as he read. He knew what this meant. Adaeze's mother had been a sacrifice, not a sinner. The night Chike told Adaeze the truth, the heavens broke open. Red lightning slashed the sky. It rained, but the rain wasn't clear, it was crimson, thick as tears. Adaeze ran barefoot to the mango tree behind her hut. The earth trembled as if remembering something buried deep. She dug with her hands until her nails bled. There they were, her mother's red shoes, glowing faintly even after all those years. Thunder answered as she lifted them up. "Mama," she whispered, "if truth must walk again, let it walk with me." She slipped her feet into the shoes. The rain stopped. The wind stilled. And from the silence, her mother's spirit rose like dawn mist, whispering, "My debt is paid. Walk for both of us." From that night, Adaeze changed. Her eyes glowed faintly in the dark. Where she walked, the ground bloomed small red flowers. People began to fear her even more, yet secretly, they felt peace near her. Old women's pains eased when she passed. Children stopped crying in the night. Crops that refused to grow suddenly flourished again. Whispers began. Maybe she is not cursed. Maybe she is blessed. For the first time, Omoma began to see what they had destroyed and what they had lost. The elders summoned her to the shrine. They bowed before the ancestral mask and demanded she remove the shoes. "Those shoes belong to the dead," they cried. But Adaeze's voice was steady. "No. They belong to the truth. And the truth never dies." The ancestral flames flickered. Drums began to beat without hands touching them. The mask on the wall cracked open, and Nena's spirit emerged, shining like fire and moonlight combined. The elders fell to their knees. The air filled with the sound of her mother's laughter, not of joy, but of freedom. For 7 days, rain fell, gentle, silver, healing rain. It washed the red dust from rooftops and hearts alike. Children danced in it. Elders prayed beneath it. Adaeze walked through the streets, blessing the sick and the blind. Her voice carried her mother's songs, songs no one had heard for years. The river turned clear again. The trees bore fruit twice in one season. The village was reborn. One dawn, Adaeze returned to the mango tree, now full of ripe fruits and singing birds. She placed the red shoes beneath it once more and whispered, "Mama, the truth has walked. You can rest now." A soft wind blew. The leaves shimmered like gold. And for a moment, she saw her mother smiling through the morning mist. Adaeze smiled too, then walked away, barefoot again. But this time, her feet no longer bled. The ground was cool and kind beneath her, because it remembered her mother's love, not her pain. Years later, travelers told tales of a barefoot girl who once saved the village by walking in her mother's spirit. They said her footprints still glowed faintly under moonlight near the river. Some say if you walk there and listen closely, you will hear her mother's voice singing from the water. Truth walks slowly, but it never gets lost.